Hey guys, AJ from the Dice Guys here, and we are going to talk about news that has just dropped. Your match play games are about to get a lot more competitive, and here's how. It's a new chapter approved. If you don't know what chapter approved is, it's a book that they release, tends to be early, which has new missions in, and in this case, it's going to have new secondaries. It's kind of a way, I feel, of updating the core rules without saying, hey, we made a mistake. The secondaries suck for a lot of armies, and unless you've had a codex, you're currently at a huge disadvantage. This looks like they're trying to fix that. What does this mean? Let's have a look what Mike has to say. The Grand Tournament 2021 mission pack focuses on the core secondary objectives, replacing some and bringing a greater degree of parity throughout the various categories. Overall, it represents a different type of change from the first turn mechanic, centric ones seen in the January mission update. Of particular note, there was quite a few secondaries that were difficult to achieve from a timing perspective, despite being interesting choices. An example of this is a change from investigate sites to investigate signal. What they do then is go on to talk about how that previously was, and how it has changed. So previously, investigate sites could only begin at the end of your movement phase if the center of the battlefield was devoid of enemy units. This presented a real problem. As long as your opponent got at least one model within 6 inches of the center on their turn, you could never score it, since you generally can't destroy enemy models before the end of your movement phase. Now you can start to perform the action if the enemy units are within 6, and score if you can clear the center by the time the action completes at the end of your turn. These sorts of changes can appear subtle, but they have major impacts on the breadth and depth of scoring opportunities presented across the game. It seems like they might be listening to you guys at home. For me personally, and for us on the channel, this is one of the gripes with things like the Tau. They just do not compare. If you don't have a codex, you are at a huge disadvantage. And some of the secondaries in the core rulebook, nobody ever took. And then some of them, everyone took constantly because there was no other option. So it didn't really give much variety to the game. And if you were a good player, you would know how to shut your opponent's secondaries down because they only had a small pool to choose from. I play a lot of Space Wolves. I get the Space Marine Codex, and I also have a Space Wolf Codex. I also get the core rulebook, so I have a lot more options. Doesn't really seem fair. They then go on to talk about how other changes are made to some of the secondaries, and one of the changes here, which I was having a little read about, is thin their ranks, which is no longer going to be a model count, but it's actually going to go on wounds. And they go on to say how that will affect things like Custody. So bringing down tougher models used to just be that they were worth 1 point, or they count as one model, regardless whether they had 5 wounds, 4 wounds, or 1 wound. I like this change. I have to admit, this is one that it should never have been in there from the start. Let's be honest, models aren't the same. They aren't equal on power, and killing a Custody Terminator should not be the same as killing a Poxwalker. They then go on to talk about the new version of Deploy Scramblers and other changes that they are making to the game. Overall, it's going to come back to one thing. Is this going to bring the game closer for armies that don't currently have a codex? Yes, they don't just want to drop all the codexes in one go. Do I believe they've got them all wrote? Of course they do. I think they already had the codexes wrote when 9th came out. Why don't they drop them all in one go, you're asking? Because then they cannot get a continuous income for you. If Games Workshop made all of their money in January and they made nothing through the year, there wouldn't be Games Workshop, because people would go, they'd buy all the codexes, they'd buy all the new models, and then that would be it. There would be nothing. So a steady flow of model releases and codexes is the way it will always go. Do I think this is a good thing? No. Not when there are people that take 40k very seriously, or even people that play mainly narrative. I've got back into Crusade lately, and I have to tell you, I love Crusade. For me, Crusade is the way 40k should be played, and the way we've always wanted 40k. We're going to do another video on Crusade, but let me just say that I feel it's a huge disadvantage when I have a Death Guard Codex and they have some amazing, super fun Crusade rules, super fun requisition points, which are points. If you've never played Crusade, you gain these requisition points and you can spend them on really cool things like upgrades and crazy things like that. And then they also have really good agendas. Again, if you've never played Crusade, agendas are secondaries that mean nothing to the overall score of the game, but level up your characters. If you have a Codex, you have a huge advantage of leveling up your Crusade force. They go on to show a game currently being played here and talking about how the new secondaries will hopefully make the game better. Well, not hopefully, how it will make the game better. They're not going to say hopefully this makes it better. They're going to say it will. Will it? Yes, I think so. I think the thing with 40k you realize is that no matter how much they playtest, or they stated, oh, we playtested this so much, etc., there will be smart people out there, or even just questions that were never brought up. You might be playing a game and you'll say, hey, if Lookout Sir covers him, does it then cover him? And if you remember Lookout Sir, for an example, it changed, I think, 3 times in the first month because people were finding ways to exploit it and have unkillable characters. Will there be ways to exploit these secondaries? Probably not as much. Old armies with old codexes, is this going to bring them up in line with the new codexes? So the armies that currently have them. Or is it going to bring them up, but it's also going to push the armies that are currently updated even higher? So that imbalance will still be there. I guess only time will tell. A lot of these secondaries are based on particular units. Do the old armies need more units? Yes, they do. Again, that's just how 40k is going to be. Shame is that it takes so long to get all the codices out, but that is just business. And this hobby that we all love, it is a business. And they have to make money. That's going to be it for this week, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments on the new Chapter Approved. Have you ever bought Chapter Approved before? Will you be buying Chapter Approved? Do you even care about match play? Do you just prefer narrative? Do you just play Crusade? Let me know down below. Also, we do have a Dice Guys Discord that I set up a while ago. The link should be at the top of our page in our banner. If you want to click on it and come and chat, it's only new. There's not too many of us in there, and we just talk 40k. Currently seem to be posting 40k memes, which is was a good way to spend your day. So come over, have a chat, and until the next time, it's bye from me.